How you doing, everybody? My name is Dean Olson. I am a songwriter, radio host, and producer from Orange County, California, and I'm really just an average guy making music. But when I get behind this microphone, I become the strong writer on the radio, helping songwriters and artists keep musically fit. And the way I love to do that is through faith and hope and encouragement, by taking in the stories and experiences told to me by my wonderful guests, and by learning from the best in the business and passing it along to you. And it's another great day for a beautiful show, and I want to welcome you to it. And I think we have a first here. My featured guest that you're seeing here on the screen is, I believe, the youngest performer that I've had in 10 years of doing this show. At 15 years old, this young lady who goes by the name Wallis, one name. She is a pop singer, songwriter who has written and recorded a relevant holiday song called Lonely Christmas. And the video just dropped this month, I believe, on YouTube, and it's already it's scoring big time. And now we're going to find out what her life is like now that this has happened. So she's becoming a big deal, but she's a little bit of a mystery. So, because she's things are moving so fast, I can't even find a website for her or anything. But, she has an Instagram, and she's already getting a following, and we're going to talk about that. Let's welcome her right now. Everybody, put your hands together with me and welcome Wallis. Very nice to meet you, young lady. How are you today?
I'm doing well. It's nice to meet you too.
All right. Thank you for coming on. This is a big deal. It is true. You are the youngest. These performers are getting younger and younger. I think the youngest one I've ever had is an 18-year-old young lady who was making pop music, kind of like you are. But it sounds like you go back a lot farther than this woman who was, she only started in her teens. You've been doing this probably since you were, 2 or 3 years old, something like that?
I mean, music has always been a part of my life. My family's very musical. We actually got rid of our TV in our living room and put that over by instruments and turned it into a makeshift performance area.
Okay.
Because everyone in my family really enjoys music a lot. But I'm very honored to be the youngest person you've had.
Well, this show is, I deal with a lot of, older folks, people of... I could span, as long as they have a great story to tell, which I believe you do. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for positivity and, somebody who's creative, and others can be inspired by, a story like yours. And even though you've been doing, I understand that you and your two sisters perform together from time to time and at a very young age. So this is probably a new thing, just becoming a solo performer. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, regardless of whether I'm performing alone or not, I love to incorporate my sisters in what I'm doing because they're incredibly talented themselves, and I also just care so much for my family. But it's very exciting. I love writing music. I love collaborating with my dad and my sisters. So, yeah.
Yeah. Your sisters are named Marin and Soleil, is that correct?
Yeah.
And they're your younger sisters, and they're featured in this video that I was referring to earlier called Lonely Christmas. So it's always good to get the family in there, and that's nice.
Yeah, they're actually singing harmonies as well in some sections.
Oh, that's actually them that I'm hearing. Yeah, I thought maybe it was you overdubbing or something.
It's them.
That's nice. Okay. How did you and how the three of you get together and sing? Was this did your dad put you up to this, or what happened back then?
I mean, while me and my dad were writing it, we always think to include them. We always think about how we can incorporate them in the song as well, because they are very talented and we love incorporating them in our music. So we decided to write in some harmonies for them and incorporate them as much as we could. Good
to know that they're, it sounds like you all get along. That's a nice thing to have in a family.
Yes, definitely.
You and your sisters very close?
Yes, I'm very close with my sisters.
Good. So then you can all conspire sometimes. You fight and you also get along very well. It's nice. I don't know what it's like to have an all-girl family like you have, but
it's a fun time.
I noticed that, maybe if Dad has a moment, we won't do this right now, but maybe if when we start talking about, you collaborating with him, which is what I've noticed that you've written here, maybe he can get on the act. How about your mother? You have a mom in the picture here?
Oh yeah, my mom is amazing. She doesn't do much songwriting herself, but we wouldn't be anywhere without her.
Right. She's the support beam,
Absolutely.
sort of. Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
good to know. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Wallis has a press release here somewhere, and it. Let's see. Why can't I find that dumb thing? Oh, here we go. Lonely Christmas. Some of the things it says here about you is that music video that we're talking about, Lonely Christmas, that was filmed on your dad's iPhone in your house.
Yes.
So, and it looks like it too. It looks like, you're in front of the computer, or one of your sister, somebody's in front of the computer doing homework or something like that. And
Yes.
so it sounds like it was low budget, and that's fine. You didn't have to spend a heck of a lot, since you're using the iPhone and you're using your own house and going out and different locations. That must be fun doing a music video. I know I've done that, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great doing it with my family, and we did use my dad's iPhone, and we shot around our house and around our grandparents' house as well.
Oh, good.
So yeah, we try to use what we got.
So your grandparents were watching you do this as well, huh?
Oh yeah, well, they're featured in the video. So.
Oh, okay. I'll have to see all this stuff. I'm going to have to, now that I know that all the family's totally involved in this thing, I can look back at that thing and know what I'm looking at now.
Oh yeah.
So the grandparents are there. Is Dad in there too? I'm not even sure I saw him.
I don't believe he's in it. I mean, we thought about putting him in it, but.
So he's the cinematographer. I guess that's it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Got some bad iPhone skills.
But anyway, at least we're talking in the present here. Your videos now, it said it gained over 95,000 views on YouTube. Probably, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's just barely come out, right? Didn't you do it just early this month?
I'm sorry. I just heard something distracted me. I'm sorry. Can you ask that question one more time?
No problem. I was just looking at how you got 95,000 views on YouTube, and didn't it just drop early this month, like the first week in December?
Yeah. Yeah, we posted it about a week ago, and the views have just been going up, and that I've never experienced that before, and it's crazy, but I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful for everyone who's being loving and supportive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. You're on social media, I think. I mean, do you interact with people on social media, or are you just posting pictures on Instagram? What is your presence out there currently as a public figure now?
Well, I'm newly a public figure. I never was before. I just started this account I don't know, about maybe a week or two ago. My Instagram account is what I'm specifically speaking about right now. And people have been commenting on my posts, people I don't know, people from around the world, which is mind-blowing. And I'm doing my best to engage as much as I can, especially with the people who are being supportive. I want to show my thanks to them. And I'm doing my best to engage. Yeah.
Is your dad being a good administrator? Because I know that when my daughter was 15, and if she was doing what you're doing, I think I want to be totally in the loop. I want to know what's going on, and that I'm protective. I wouldn't want to hear a lot of smack being talked about my daughter. Unless you've got a thick skin and you can take criticism. But it sounds like you're getting nothing but good vibes and good thoughts. So that's nice to hear.
I'm getting an overwhelming amount of love, which is really all I can ask for. It's so thankful. But yeah, my dad's great, and I can talk to him if I'm having a hard time or if something's bothering me. But overall, we've had a lot of very positive feedback. So
very, very nice. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, because you can tell me a little bit about how that was created and such. But as you can see, I just sort of go where it takes me. We talked about that, but I wanted to find out a little bit about how you got started. This was written in print when you were 2 years old. Your mom and dad took you to some theater production. Either it was Peter Pan or Annie or one of those things, down there. And by the way, you're in Philadelphia, right? In that area, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm in Philly.
So you went to one of those theaters down there, and then according to them, this is the theater, the performing bug got you or something. You were really fascinated as a young very young girl.
Oh, absolutely. I have memory of seeing the show, which I
Wow.
don't know how that's even possible, but I do have a memory of seeing the show. Yes, we saw Peter Pan at the Walnut Street Theater, and that's in Philly.
Uh-huh.
And I was, I believe, 2 or 3 years old. And my parents, I don't remember this part of it, but my parents tell me that I sat there silent and just was attentive the whole show. And I remember thinking it was so amazing. I was like, Peter Pan just flew over my head, guys. This is so amazing. And I was so excited about it. And then from that point on, I was like, okay, this is so great. And I want to be in a show now because this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then when I was 12, I auditioned for a show at that theater, and I was lucky enough to get cast. And I was actually in the same cast as the woman who played Peter Pan.
Wow.
So
This is over at that Walnut Street Theater that you're talking about?
Yeah.
How about that? That's pretty nice. Now, you don't live exactly. Have you always lived outside, like in a suburb somewhere off of? I think you're north of Philly, but you're not actually in the city.
Correct.
But, I love Philadelphia. My dad was born in Philadelphia, so we've only been there a couple times, and I like it. So we're looking forward to going back there. This year, people aren't doing a lot of traveling for fun anymore. So so we all have to get used to this new world. So as a young girl, how have you been dealing with the pandemic, and your sisters as well? We'll throw them in there.
Oh, well, I mean, I think everyone's just doing the best to make do with what we have. We're fortunate enough to live with a loving family, and we're trying to remain in contact with our friends through social media and, call them and do whatever we can to stay in touch. I've been writing a lot of letters. And yeah, I mean, everyone has their ups and downs through quarantine. And I know the world has been in some heavy places, over the past few months, and I think everyone's just doing their best to deal with it and be the best version of themselves they can be.
That's a nice thing to say. When you were before all this happened and you were in school, I mean, are there friends that you miss getting together with, and do you communicate through phones and computers and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I go to school an hour away from my home. I do cyber school, but I used to go to a performing arts school 2 days a week where I would drive an hour away to physically go to school. So I don't get to see those friends. Really, I don't think I've seen some of them since school closed. But yeah, we're doing our best to stay in contact. Once in a while, we'll socially distance and see our friends for like a picnic or a walk or something like that. But
oh, good. It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
the performing arts school that you're talking about, I understand that was your idea. Otherwise you'd be probably going to one of the local junior highs or something like that. But you asked to go to this school, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I actually went to junior high for 7th grade, and I went to public school my whole life before that as well. And then I've always been very interest-based, and I've always loved music and performance a lot, and I wanted to put my focus into that. And then I begged my parents to audition for the school, and they were kind enough to allow me to, and I was lucky enough to get in.
Do you think that you would recommend other girls do that if they had the similar dream as you, and were to that would be a good option to try to enroll in a performing arts school that would more suit your needs, to fulfill that hunger for music and all that?
Oh yeah, I think if you are passionate about it and that's what you want to do, absolutely. I've learned a lot of wonderful things from going to performing arts school. And it's really great to be surrounded by other creative people. And I like that I went to public school prior because they're very different. So I had both experiences, but yeah, I love it.
Great. This Lonely Christmas is really It's an interesting song, and I like it. It's very catchy. You do. If this is the kind of music you were trying to do in the past, this is a good representation of it. And were you working on other songs before you actually recorded this?
Yeah, well, I write on my own, and my dad writes some on his own, and we like to collaborate. We've got a lot of unfinished songs that we're working on now, but they all kind of vary. You know, there's some that might have a similar energy to Lonely Christmas, and there are some that are entirely different. But yeah, so I guess we'll see how those songs turn out.
Well, I've had a couple of guests who were they debuted with a Christmas single or just some kind of relevant single, and they didn't have an album or anything ready to go, and that came eventually down the road. So I see that in your future, if this is something you're passionate about and you continue. Is this what you would, even at 15 years old, do you sort of have a vision that you want to do this kind of thing for a long time?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, I don't know what else I'm going to do.
So this is not a fleeting thing, right. It's not a phase you're going through for a few years that you think this is a future for you.
I mean, if I'm lucky enough to do this as my future, then absolutely.
Yeah. But if you have, like you said, you have a loving family and you have a very supportive father and mother, and a couple sisters who are they're right alongside you, helping you out as well, and adding to the personality of your act, so to speak. I think you have a winner there. So it was very impressive. I'm glad you're making a splash. It hit well with me. I loved the video.
Oh, I'm really glad. Thank you.
Yeah, lyrically, I can't quote back to the lyrics, but I know you have a way of. Now I understand that you wrote this with your father, but lyrically, is this mostly you coming up with all this?
It was really a collaboration.
Okay, so little give and take, yeah.
Yeah, we bounced ideas off of each other. My dad would come up with something, and I'd be like, "All right, that's great," and we just work together and compare. We're two different ages, obviously, and we are at very different places in our lives. So it's fun to try to find the similarities that we both relate to and that we think other people will connect to. And yeah, just seeing what works, seeing what sounds nice.
Which one of you came up with the line, Lonely Christmas, this will be a litmus test, things like.
I have to give credit to my dad for that one.
That sounds like, I was going to guess that was a dad thing. That was good because that strikes a chord with me. I like to write things sort of like that, little trick phrases. It almost harkens back to the old songwriters in the 40s. And, they did stuff like that where it very clever turn of phrase. But the concept for this, now I understand that you didn't write this year. It just sort of happens that now it's a good time to break it out because of what's been going on. It's people are kind of lonely. People are having a lonely Christmas, but this was not this year, was it?
It actually was this year. It was actually in November, the last 2 weeks of November, we wrote it. We had ideas for the song. We had the basic, some chord structure ideas and some basic ideas about the foundation of the song.
Okay.
But those were kind of just unfinished ideas. And then in November, we picked it up again, and we knew it was going to be a Christmas song. So we wrote things that we felt were relevant for this year, but we don't ever directly address COVID. So
right.
We find that it really applies to any year, but it felt particularly relevant this year.
Oh, I could have sworn that it said that you wrote this last year and that now you're breaking it out because it's a good way to, it's very timely now.
Well, we had little bits of the music last year, but we really wrote the most of the song.
Oh, okay. So you had it sort of, you kind of had it.
Little bits.
You planted the seed and then you started working on it. I got it.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Oh, this lonely, lonely Christmas. I can't help but feel that this must be goodbye to dreams of mine, a very plan that I made back in January. I stare at my phone alone at night. Am I doing this right? I feel like a reindeer in the headlights. this lonely, lonely Christmas, this year will be a litmus test of my connections eyes, focused on my ride or dies. Everybody's throwing stones, looking for fights, and hugs are not polite. It's alright, we're just stuck at a red light. Oh, the world's a stage, but it feels like a cage. Can't wait to break the chains and sing and dance with you again. Oh, this lonely, lonely Christmas, I only wish you knew. I dream about the cozy Christmases when I will be with you. Oh, this lonely, lonely Christmas, I only wish you knew. I dream about the cozy Christmases when I will be with you. Oh, this lonely, lonely Christmas, I only wish you knew. I dream about the cozy Christmases when I will be with you. Oh, this lonely, lonely Christmas, my only wish is that you knew. I dream about the cozy Christmases when I will be with you. When I will be with you again, I will be with you again, my friend.
So, any chance that Dad might pop his head in here for us just a quick second, and we can talk about how you create this stuff?
Yeah. I can move.
This
over.
is Gene Schriver over here. How you doing, Gene? It's very nice to see you on the camera with your daughter.
Hey, Dean, how are you?
Good. I always want to do that so that you can sort of save me. You can hear probably as I'm talking to her how smooth I am in my interviewing skills. but
Terrific, man. You're doing a great job.
no, but it's like I said, it's probably the first time I had somebody so young, but she sounds very precocious and very beyond her years. And yeah.
Even as a child, Wallis was completely fluently conversational by age 1. So
I think I believe you. Yes.
used to carry her around in the grocery store and she'd start having conversations with other shoppers. And I remember one lady in particular said, "Did that baby just talk to me?"
Well, that's good. I mean, hey, the Performing Arts School, I was just talking with her about that. Hey, congratulations for opening up your wallet. That's a big deal to do that. So it sounds like you were very supportive in her wishes to advance her education in that way.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a charter school, so we don't actually have to come out of pocket.
That's good. Okay, yeah, great.
Which is good, but she had to audition to get in, and it's a drive. I mean, it's a good 4 hours on the day.
Oh my gosh,
you have to be there.
Well, that's including there and
right.
back.
It's an hour there, an hour back, and then an hour back and back again. But we're also used to it. All 3 of our girls have performed at the Walnut Street Theater over the last 3 years, so we're used to driving into the city every night for months on end, for rehearsals and performances. So one of the nice things about quarantine is that we've saved a lot of gas money.
Yes, it has been that. That's for sure.
Good.
Yeah. But Gene, I was just telling her earlier, did Dad put you up to this, getting in on the act? I noticed that you and your wife must have really found at a young age that these girls had something special and that they could actually, go out and perform in front of people and not be shy about it. So
yeah, I mean, Wallis knew very, very young that that's what she wanted to do with her life. She knew her purpose, and it's really comforting as a parent to have a child that, has figured out very early exactly what she wanted to do with her life, because that gave her a direction, right from the beginning. When Wallis was very young, I'm a musician and obviously a songwriter myself.
Yeah.
We knew that Wallis could hit for pitch at a very young age. And so she started to all she did was sing all day, every day. And that's pretty much still all she does. So, it is her passion. And then when her sisters were born and they started to be able to hit for pitch and they had unique voices too, they kept coming out. We're like, oh my gosh, we have a sister act here.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to watch them, sing together. They can do tricky 3-part harmonies, and have a 10 and a 13 and a 15-year-old be able to execute that is pretty cool to watch.
How'd they learn to do that? Was it, do you first get them involved in that, or did a music teacher get them together, or a vocal coach, anything like that?
Eventually we got into that. It started at home with us. I remember the first time that I taught Wallis to do harmonies. We were on a 6-hour drive up to Lake Placid, New York.
Wow.
And we listened to Superman by REM probably 50, 60 times on the way up there, just trying to get that one harmony down for her to sort of learn to harmonize. And then it's been nonstop ever since.
Well, it sounds like she has a good time, just from talking to her, she has a good time collaborating with you as she's talking about. Just curious, maybe you could both tell me a little bit of how you got together and put this all together, because it sounds like you both did it equally, little give and take sort of songwriting and playing music. So how'd this all come about? Maybe I can get you to tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. You want to start, or you want me to start?
You can start. I can piggyback on.
And start from the beginning, because I think I got it wrong thinking that this was all last year, but it turns out.
No, we had some
tracks. We had some MIDI tracks down. Mm-hmm. We had some chord structures and some progressions put together in Logic. We use Logic. And we were kicking it around, as long ago as last year, but it didn't feel like we were connecting to any lyrics. We didn't feel like we had really tightened the song up from a chord progression perspective and an instrumentation perspective. And so while the basics, were around since last year, it wasn't until November where the lyrics really just sort of presented themselves to us.
Absolutely.
And then we just, we'll work on vocals. I'll ask Wallis to try certain things, and then she'll usually write a harmony to it. And she, reacts to different chord progressions, or whether we're doing, inversions or voicings, how we do the voicings of particular notes, and even picking, instruments out, vocal effects, and all sorts of production. We work on all that together. We make all those decisions together.
Was it sort of an organic, creation, or did you actually set out to write a Christmas song?
I think the original notion was that it would be a Christmas song. I think yes.
Just the way it sounded to us, we were like, this is going to be a Christmas song.
Okay, yeah. So it wasn't like one of these songs and you say, hey, we'll just throw Christmas in there and turn it into one.
It's like you can't just slap sleigh bells onto a track and make it a Christmas song.
Some people tend to do that, and it lacks the the personality and the soul and the fun. But I was complimenting Wallis on how that really. I'm sure it's connecting with a lot of people, because how many on YouTube and how many on Instagram that's really getting you've just barely got it going. Either you're a genius with social media, or this thing is really blowing up big time.
Not a genius.
I don't think either of us were quite genius about social media.
Yeah, we had to create a YouTube channel just to get it on the internet. So it's not like we had much experience with it. But, Ellen DeGeneres just posted it across her social channels this weekend. That blew it up. The Today Show did a digital web story on it. That certainly kicked the numbers up. Today, the last I looked, it was at about 380,000 views at this point.
That's pretty darn good. Yeah.
And, Wallis's original Instagram post of it, which is just a clip of it, has almost 70,000 views. So it just went nuts. Reddit is what really, actually the response that we've gotten really was born in Southern California. So that could be interesting for you. Somebody in Redondo Beach put it up, posted it in a Redondo Beach, a friend of ours posted it in a Redondo Beach community page, Facebook group. And someone in that group saw it and then took it and put it on Reddit. And then the Reddit community just went bananas on it. So it really started to spike from there. So this got out into the world because of someone in your neck of the woods.
Oh, that's an interesting fact that I just learned from you. Yeah. And just Ellen, I'm sure that was, I don't know what kind of juice she has now, but I mean, that must've been a big spike when she put it on there.
Yeah. Getting the Ellen hug is always a thing. Yeah.
Well, the Redondo Beach, that is interesting that, so you don't have to be a social media guru or genius or, prodigy to do this kind of thing. Cause like you said, something, it sounds like it's sort of taking the course it wants to. And then hopefully it just gets even bigger, especially you got some time still before before Christmas is all over with.
Right?
And this,
we got 2 more weeks of this.
And the nice thing is you could do this again next year too. So that's the fun thing.
Next year, maybe we'll actually start to try to professionally market it.
Yeah. Maybe you can get that guy who drinking cranberry juice skateboarding or whatever that he can do instead of Fleetwood Mac, he can play Wallis or something on there. That'd be fun.
That's a great idea.
Don't worry about that. I'm sure you'll come up with something a lot better than that. But that's just another example of how in the world did that thing become a big deal? Things just happen.
It had good vibes. I don't know.
Yeah, like you said, it bounces from one part of the world to the other, and it can become a big deal. But so what kind of setup do you have in your house? I mean, you have a little home studio, so I'm sure that's fun for Wallis to get in there and play with.
Yeah, I set up a little home studio in an extra bedroom, which has now become my office. So it's just a really small room in our house. I've got some good monitors and a good laptop, and Logic is the software that we write in, and a little MIDI keyboard, and a decent microphone. It's not super high end microphone, but it's a pretty good one. Nice Shure microphone, condenser mic, and that's it. That's pretty much the totality of the tools that we're working with. We have a lot of live instruments around the house, but this one, the guitars were actually laid down by a good friend of ours named Kevin Hansen, who was in a band called or is in a band called Huffamoose, and he's played with the Roots in the past. An amazing guitarist. He emailed us the track, so we sent him the stems, the files, and then laid it down in his home studio, and then emailed it back to us. And then Jared Kotler, who was the original drummer, and Marcy Playground, and I think the producer one of the producers on that big record that they had, also has a drum kit in his own home, and so he did the drums from his apartment and sent those in, and then we did record the saxophone live in the studio, and we just slapped it all together.
Look at you two! Wow, you guys are major players now. I think that I hope you can handle this, Wallet. So I think I think the fame is going to you're going to blow up whether you think you are or not. I mean, you're just going to have fun no matter what, though, aren't you?
I mean, it's what I'm going to try to do. I mean, yeah.
That's all you can do. But, it's just fun listening to the two of you talk as a duo, because it's I feel like I'm talking to like Debbie Harry and Chris Stein of Blondie or something like that. They're just doing we laid down the tracks and we put, it's wonderful. I think it's great. I mean, my daughter and my son, we did that sort of, but they moved on to other endeavors. So I still stuck with the music, and I didn't have, we didn't have a musical family. I mean, it was, do you have a history of like Wallis's grandparents or anything like that to have music in their background?
I don't think there's any of the grandparents that are musical, but her great grandfather was very musical.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that deep yet, I guess.
See, yeah, you learn something here on the
I
show.
know, learning something new every day.
Yeah.
Well, this is a lot of fun talking with you both. You know, I can kick you out of the picture and we'll get back to talking with her if that's all right. But I don't want to keep you in there. But
no,
I enjoyed having the two of you. It makes for some. It gives me more of a connection here. So I know, and I know people really enjoy that family aspect. To know that you have a very supportive family, Wallis, and I think you already appreciate that. So that's a lot to do with your success. Yeah,
an amazing thing to be able to share with her. It's really been special.
Yeah.
All right, love you.
Love you.
Bye, Dean.
Bye. Nice to meet you, Gene. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Now we got rid of him, so now we can talk to you. No, it says yeah. You weren't even shy about having him in the room. It sounds like you genuinely have a good collaboration, a good working relationship, and you both have that love for music. So.
Oh yeah.
How did you? I noticed you play piano in the video. There, are you? What kind of musical instruments do you like to play?
Well, my main instrument that I love to play is piano. I played a little bit when I was a kid, and then I stopped for a while, and then I tried to pick it back up again. And when I started going to this performing arts school, I decided to take a piano class. So I'm getting back into my piano groove, and I really do enjoy playing. And then I play a little guitar and ukulele. I've had a few guitar lessons before, but I'm mostly self-taught with ukulele and guitar, but I'm trying to get better.
That's funny that, your age group, I'm just thinking of people, all you probably heard is ukuleles in pop culture and in commercials and in songs. Didn't always used to be like that. Ukulele was sort of a new thing, only a few people were doing it in the 90s. And then by the time you were born, you started hearing more and more ukuleles being used. So it's must be interesting that this is all you've known. It's normal to have a ukulele. So
yeah, I got a ukulele for Christmas in like 3rd grade, I think. I was pretty young. I think not a lot of my friends had ukuleles at the time. But I was so excited to get it, and I played it all the time. I remember playing in 5th grade all the time, and I would bring it to school with me too, and I would play for my class and play it at recess and do all of that. But it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
We talked a little bit about your two sisters and singing. So what's it like singing with your sisters? Would you work out on your own singing parts, try to harmonize and practice together and learn routines? What was it like to perform together as a trio?
Oh, well, I love performing with them. I really love performing with them because I think they're so incredible. Like I'm constantly in awe of them. Marin, my middle sister, she's 13. She has just a very beautiful and unique voice, and I feel like I can always really hear the passion in her voice, and I really admire that about her. And Soleil is 10, and she has such good pitch. She has such good pitch. It's crazy. And her vocal technique is also incredible, and I don't know. I'm always in awe of them, and I love performing with them, and I love learning harmonies with them because I think it's so great to sing live with people and create harmonies. I just love it.
I know you told me earlier you put away the TV. How about music? Do you ever stream music and listen to groups that might or singers that might inspire you to do something new in create something new?
Oh yeah, I mean, my dad shares music with me all the time. I'll show him music that I like. I play songs for my sisters that I enjoy, and I feel like we're usually playing music in the house at some point. And yeah, I mean, we play music when we're in the kitchen. We have random dance parties because we all really just enjoy it.
That's good. Yeah, some families are sports families. That's all they do around there. But you're the music family, and that's nice to know. Some people will say, "Well, yeah, the TV. Oh, shoot, you're missing all kinds of things." I don't know. Nowadays, there's not much to watch, but there must be. You must have a TV somewhere if you want to watch. Watch a movie or something, some musical thing. It's fun to, yeah, there are things that can inspire you as well. So, any favorite singers that you like, that you kind of want to be like?
Well, I have a lot of favorite singers. I love Lorde right now. I love
Really?
Etta James.
Uh-huh.
There's an artist called Eloise. I believe she's from the UK. I don't know if you know of her,
I
but
think I've heard of that. Yeah.
I love her music so much.
You say Etta James? It sort of cut out there for a second. Is that
Yes,
what
I said Etta James.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to say Lorde goes back a little ways, but Etta James, this goes back way, way, way back. So.
Yeah, and I mean Billie Eilish, that might be a given because
Okay. Yeah, she's not even. That's another young one. She's not even. She just turned 18, right? Billie Eilish. Yeah.
Great,
So
she's so
it's
great.
hard to believe how what a presence she has, and how
good for her. And
yeah.
That's a lot to deal with. I admire her so much for, that's crazy. That's the lifestyle she lives. I mean, that's just I admire her a lot for that.
Yeah.
And also AC/DC and ELO, I really
There you
love.
go.
And let's see.
Chalk one up for my daughter loves AC/DC, which is fun for me to introduce her to groups I grew up with. Yeah.
AC/DC is great.
Yeah. ELO is a good choice. Yeah, they're very full sounding and lots of great arrangement in there. So you can listen to those things over and over and hear something brand new in it.
Yeah. Oh, and Haim too.
Oh, okay.
Love
that.
the sister group.
That's good. Yeah, I was always wondering if there was any kind of vocal groups that sort of inspire you to, hey, we should try this or something. I don't know, but
yeah,
I asked that just only because it's always fun to it's fun to inspire yourself, by listening to others. I mean, that's how we all come up anyway. Most singers and songwriters and such, they borrow and they're inspired by the stuff they grew up with, and they want to create something in their own personality, but it's it's based in something that they loved. So
definitely,
it's always interesting to find that. Yeah. So it says you were writing lyrics by 9 years old. That's a nice. So you've been doing this 6 years. You're becoming a pro at this.
I mean, I did write when I was young. Most of it was not great. So I don't know if you would say that I was a good lyric writer at 9 years old, but
do you have some kind of journal or a notebook that you would write these things in?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think you could go back to that 9-year-old Wallis ledger and look at it and say, can I make a song out of this, or is it too corny? Is it too weird?
Probably too corny, and I mean, I kind of like weird sometimes, but I mean, it's probably too corny and too weird though.
But you feel that you're getting better each day then, I guess, huh? Every
I would hope so.
Yeah. Have you been more creative now that things have slowed down in the world? Since March, people have been pretty much hanging around their neighborhoods or in the house. So it's a different world now. And has that affected you? I mean, what were you doing before? I was just curious, what was your life before, going to school, back and forth to school, but now you distance learn now, so it's different.
Yeah. I mean, before we went into quarantine, I was just living my, normal daily life, going to school, physically going to my art school, and then doing my other academic work at home. And then I suppose being at home has given me more time to be creative, and I'm not going to say that it was always, I'm not always being perfectly creative. Everyone has their moments where, they feel lack of motivation and all of that, but I have had a lot of time to, work with my dad, which has been nice because I have school and he has a job. So we've had some time where we can work on music together, which is really great. And yeah.
Sounds good. So dad has a job. That's good to know that he's not just hanging around. And he just sort of like, this is all he does all day is just hang around and write and create music. I'd love to be able to do that, but
he would too.
I have a job as well. So I do this and I do the job. Kind of keeps you well-rounded and centered, unless I don't know if I can hang around the house all the time. It's a little tough, but we're learning what that's like these days. But
True.
let's see if there's anything else that was written down about you. Oh yeah, I understand that you went to Paris last year with your dad. Was it just your dad, or did the family go?
No, it was just my dad. So I had been like, going to Paris was my biggest dream since I was probably like first grade, I think. I
Way back then. Wow.
Yes, I wanted to go to Paris since I was very young, and all I wanted for Christmas was things that had Paris on it, and or like Statue of the Eiffel Tower. I just was in awe of Paris because I believe one of my friends went there and told me about it, and I was like, wow. And in ninth grade, was it last year that we went, or was I in eighth grade?
Oh, it was last year. Yeah.
Oh, last year.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get to go, and I'd been telling him about this since I was young, and so he brought me last year, and it was really incredible, and I'm so thankful that I could get to go. And yeah, I mean, it had been a dream of mine since I was young, so I'm incredibly grateful that I got to fulfill that dream.
Oh, well, what did you do there? Did you just hang around, eat baguettes, and drink non-alcoholic wine and whatever? There must have been something purpose to going over. Was it just to have a nice trip, or was there what was the purpose of going there?
Well, of course, we went to see the city and be in Paris, and we did some sightseeing and we walked around, and we had a friend that we knew who took us around one day, who was a local in Paris, and she just kind of walked around with us and just showed us some cool things that she liked, and we also wrote some music while we were in Paris. Yeah.
There you go. Something to do. But did anything happen? I saw that there was something that there was a performer on the street that was playing, and maybe you can, now that you know the story I'm referring to, tell me a little bit about that story, because that'd be fun to share with people.
Yeah. So me and my dad, we were sightseeing, and we were going up to see the Eiffel Tower, and there was a busker, and he was playing guitar and he was singing, and he finished one of his songs, and then we started talking to him about music and, just about his life and our life. And he invited me to sing a song with him in front of the Eiffel Tower. And we just got to sing a little fun duet together. And it was really super fun. And that was, I'd been dreaming of going to Paris for so long, and music is another one of my dreams. And being able to sing in front of the Eiffel Tower is like, it feels like a scene out of a movie. And there were other people who were sightseeing, and then there were all these people crowding around me watching me sing in front of the Eiffel Tower. I was like, what's going on? This is incredible.
I hope you got video or pictures of it so that you can.
We do have some video of it.
Yeah, everybody takes pictures and phone video or whatever. But what was the song that you sang? Do you remember it?
It was All of Me by Sam Smith, I believe.
Okay.
John Legend.
John Legend? Oh, okay. All of Me. Okay. So a big crowd comes around, and then you got to perform. So this wasn't a big deal for you, I think, because you don't seem to be, you and your sisters, that you don't seem to be shy. You kind of you can perform naturally, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone gets their moments where they have a little bit of nerves, and I was in a place I was very unfamiliar with, so I was like, oh, this is very different, but I was like, I'm gonna take this opportunity, of course, if I have it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, it was your favorite environment. You were in Paris with the Eiffel Tower in the background and everything. What could be more of a dream for you to do that? And doing music at the same time, even though it was a performer that you didn't even know. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, I was hoping I can get you to say something about that. I kept leading you into it, and I said, "Oh, she doesn't." Apparently, there's nothing there. But yeah, I think I'm trying to wrap up here because I don't want to keep you on for a long, long time. But it's real nice meeting your father and getting to meet you, Wallis. I really appreciate the you have a nice positive vibe about you, and it sounds like you know, you have that wide-eyed dreamer type of enthusiasm in just the way you talk about the music, and even as you create. I mean, do you ever wake up one of these days and go like, it's not happening, I don't feel like it right now, it's I'm not inspired to write anything or create anything? Or is every day just like, I can do it?
Oh no, I mean, I wish every day was like that. I mean, I think everyone has those days where they're like, I just feel like I cannot get out of my bed today. But randomly I'll get an idea, or sometimes I'll be having a really bad day and I just sit at the piano and I just do whatever comes to my mind. And you know, sometimes you get something good, sometimes you don't. And it all just depends, and I work with what I've got.
That's about the answer I was looking for. I mean, some of us older folks, we were, you know, some of them might be looking at you and saying, this 15-year-old kid, she don't know yet what the world is like yet. But you know what? As I watch you, I mean, you're kind of laser focused on what your passion is in life, you know, music. And you also have a family that sort of keeps you grounded. So plus you have a dad who's enthusiastic as well. So I think that you're pretty blessed, Wallis. I'm glad that
Absolutely.
I'm glad I got to talk to you about you know, this brand new adventure that you're going on, even though you've been doing this stuff for a little bit now. But be fun to see what happens when you're 16. Now that when's your birthday? What month is your birthday?
My birthday is in February.
Oh, okay. So
you're gonna be in like 2 months, about. Yeah.
Sweet 16. I've seen MTV. I heard, you don't become a brat, do you, when you become 16 years old? I hope.
Certainly try not to. I mean,
no, like I said, you have a good head on your shoulders. I like Philly. If I ever go like what is that, near Center City, that Walnut Street Theater? Is that kind of, if I'm ever in that area again, you know, we're gonna have to go. You know, we'll go down that part of town where all the cheesesteaks are, Geno's and Pat's and all those things. We go there first, and then we start going somewhere other places. But we don't know anybody except for you, so we'll go by your neighborhood and wave. So I really wish big things for you, Wallis. Your video is really nice to watch, and I hope it becomes a big deal and a classic that, you know, that we'll still be hearing about it for a couple of years from now, that they'll be playing that. And I hope there's an album in your future. You know, it sounds like you have more music in you to not just this thing.
Yeah, well, I hope so too. And thank you so much for all of your kind words. It means a lot.
Yeah. It's
really great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, as your dad's over there, you know, I can confess it's hard to talk to the kids because I don't know how much I can relate, but you know, I was once 15. I remember what I was doing at 15, and you know, I didn't have a setup. In fact, I have over here. See this little recorder here? It's an old shoebox tape recorder. You know, put cassettes in it. Maybe you don't know what those are. You know what cassettes are?
What that is. I knew you were going to say that. I do know what a cassette is, though.
Like I'm showing you one of those old gramophones that they used to have back when Thomas Edison. But
we used to always like play with those at my grandma's house. She had a record player and cassette tapes and all those. She had a whole contraption that we used to play with as kids.
Yeah. So. But my mom sometimes watches these shows and these interviews that I'm doing, and she'll know that is the actual tape recorder that I used to record all my songs on back when I was 15. So that's the technology I had. So I was just plugging in something into the aux jack here, and then, you know, I would try to bounce tracks that way. You know, you didn't have Logic or Pro Tools or any of that stuff to. So all my stuff was done with cassettes, and I had to eventually get another one so I could make myself a little cheap studio in my room as a teenager. But yeah, that wasn't my station in life. I wasn't dead set on becoming on what you're doing right now. I knew I'd do that stuff eventually, but not at 15. So just to throw in one more compliment, you know, I'm very glad that you know what you're doing and where you're going. So that's
thank you.
That's half the battle right there. And by the way, there's a guitar in the background. I always like to find out what's going on with the instruments. Whose is that?
That is my dad's guitar.
Okay. Do you ever? He's let you pick it up and play with it? Okay.
Oh yeah. He shares his guitars with me. I play them. all the time.
Somehow I already knew the answer that dad, whatever's dad's, you're welcome to use it as long as you respect it and because he knows that he can trust you. You're going to create something with it and not screw around and play and ruin it. Okay, well, listen, I've been stalling long enough. Wallis, it's been very nice to meet you. It's been a pleasure having you talk about your video and talking about your family life, and thank you, Gene, over there for coming and getting in on the conversation. It added a special something that I was really hoping for, and that way the older folks can really relate to Wallis through you. And oh, by the way, how can people find out about this video I've been talking about, and maybe they want to learn more about Wallis, and they're not finding it in the search engine like on Google or anything like that? How do you get involved in trying to learn more about you?
Yeah, well, if you're looking to learn more about me personally, I have a new Instagram, so it doesn't have too many posts at this point, but I'm going to post more in the future, and that is at I_am_Wallis, which is WALLIS. And that is also, I believe, my handle for YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, possibly. Yeah, I believe it's all of the above.
Good. Yeah, that helps.
They're all very new accounts, so there might not be much content, but we're working to add to that. And
I'm glad that you literally spelled it out, because I was going to make sure that they put the underscores in there. So it's I_am_Wallis, and that's Instagram to start. But I didn't realize you had the other social medias too. So
well, they're very new. I didn't even know. So, no, I'm just kidding. But
watch out for Twitter. Twitter's mean sometimes, so you be careful. But somehow go ahead. What was that, Gene?
You can just search YouTube or Google for Wallis Lonely Christmas, and plenty comes right up.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And that's the same with Spotify and iTunes. If you just look up Wallis Lonely Christmas, you can get those on there as well.
Wallis is becoming a very big deal, and I'm glad I got to get you get this exclusive interview almost just before you become the biggest thing in the whole world at that time. So all the best. All the blessings on all your family and your sisters and your mom and dad. Maybe I get to talk to you down the road when things are getting even hotter for you. I really would. I would love to see the progress in this big star that in the making here.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Have a great rest of the day over there in the Philly area. And I'm jealous. I'd like to be out there one day and just check things out again. I love Philly. So,
well, thank you, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. Everybody, take care of yourselves. Thank you, Wallis.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye now.